Hi, I'm Jane King, and this is New to the Street, in person back here at the NASDAQ market site in New York City. This show is all about public, private blockchain companies, the CEOs, the founders, and the innovators, bringing you lots of opportunities to consider. Here we go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Monica Melpass, and pleased to be here with Jamie Burke, CEO of Outlier Ventures, by the way, the Web3's leading accelerator by volume, to talk about where we're at with the economy. And some experts say we're in a crypto winter. What's a crypto winter? How do you know if we're in it? What do you think is happening?
Yeah, so, I mean, when we're talking about a winter in terms of a technology cycle, the origins of that originally came from AI in the 80s. And it was this kind of like downward cycle where firstly there's kind of negative sentiment within the community. That would lead to a lack of funding, bad press, and then of course a lack of R&D, and that would last for decades.
Right.
Now, we had something similar to that in 2018 to 20 in crypto. I think objectively you could say that was a crypto winter, where all of those things were true. And I think the question is now, are we seeing another form of crypto winter? And I would argue no, and I guess we can kind of get into why.
Okay, and so why do you say it's a no? Why isn't it?
Well, so if we look at R&D to start with, right? So I think the difference between, say, AI and Web3 or crypto, depending on how you want to call it, is that we've already broken out of the R&D phase. We've really been looking at least several years of commercialization, the application of this technology to different commercial industries. And that's continued, right? So we're at our accelerator, we've had over 2,000 startups apply in the last 2 quarters this year.
Terrific.
Which is higher than ever.
Right.
And similarly, even if you go into the R&D phase of it, there is still a huge amount of money being deployed in infrastructure and kind of foundational primitives. And a lot of the leading protocols out there, kind of the top 10 protocols that people are building on, the level of kind of code commits that you're seeing on things like GitHub, both by the core teams and the wider community, are still either sustained or growing. So in terms of the technology and its application, we're still seeing a huge amount of activity there.
Is there any way to know 4 years from now that we're going to be back here having the same conversation or not?
I wish. I mean, that would be the multi-trillion-dollar question, right? I mean, I think what we do know in crypto is that there's this huge brain trust coming into the space. Beyond kind of the initial kind of core native, we're seeing a lot of brilliant talent now coming out of Web 2 because, of course, their stock options don't look so good. They might have been made redundant. So we're seeing a lot of talent come in both as founders or early employees, like founder employees. And with crypto, one thing's for sure, because it's this permissionless, open financial system, there's an incentive to find new ways to create economic value.
Right.
And if you can do that, the kind of feedback loop to kind of capital rewarding it is incredibly short. So you compare it to classic equity investing. You might have to wait 10 years before your investment has a public listing, if at all. Majority will fail, 90% will fail first 2 years. In crypto and Web3, we see projects often go public, have a listed digital asset. In the good times, it could be as short as 6 to 12 months. So that's starting to get pushed back a little bit now. We have a launchpad proposition in our accelerator, which helps effectively launch those projects. And we're seeing typically projects go on hold for about 6 to 12 months, waiting to see how the market shakes out. What we have seen in the kind of wider secondary market is, as the macro environments put a lot of stress on the system, a lot of its kind of key innovations, such as stable coins, there was something called Terra, which is an algorithmic stablecoin, highly innovative form of stablecoin, as well as lots of leverage in DeFi. A lot of that's been put under stress, either collapsed, and we're starting to see this unwinding of leverage in the system, which is why those listed assets are down 90%.
Right.
So the kind of question is, where does the secondary market money come from? And that's going to be some macro factors. It's going to be some factors specific to crypto. But again, a lot of that $15 billion that I mentioned earlier that has to be allocated into the space, some of it is very early stage, but some of it is hybrid, i.e. they can have an active strategy as well. So there's money there. It's just waiting for this bit of a clear out. I think the general sentiment within our investor network is 6 to 12 months, and we should begin to see a recovery. But again, some innovation trigger comes along, and that will just change the story completely overnight.
Absolutely, it's fluid.
Exactly.
Jamie Burke, Outlier Ventures, thank you so much for being here. Pleasure to hear your insights.
Thanks for having me on.
Have a good day.
Glint has developed proprietary technology that enables everyone to buy gold. Gold that's stored in Brink's vaults, insured by Lloyd's of London. With Glint's app and debit card, peace of mind is just a few taps away. It's easy to protect your hard-earned savings, and there are no minimums, hidden fees, or financial advisors required. To learn how to safeguard your future, go to glintpay.com or download Glint from your favorite app store.
Want to get linked to a really good investment? Everyone knows you have to be at the right place at the right time. So here's the deal. Link2 is that place. And when you sign up, you'll join an awesome community of investors with access to the world's leading private companies way before they go mainstream. Are you ready to get linked to? Our unicorns are waiting. Link2. Private investing made simple.
We're talking with Jason Cozens, the CEO of Glint Pay today, which is a debit card that pays for things in gold, which is just, it's fascinating. I've been thinking about you a lot lately with the inflation, because I know we've talked about inflation and how, and especially with crypto and the collapse that we've seen. And explain to me what the problem is in our economy right now and how gold is interrelated to that.
Sure. Well, I mean, obviously we've got inflation now in the US at 8.5%, and for some people it's even higher. If you're in New York, if you're in LA, it's higher for you. In the UK, it's 8.3%. And this isn't anything new, actually. Inflation's been with us for some time. In my lifetime, it's meant that the cost of living's been increasing dramatically, and the purchasing power of the US dollar has dropped by 85% in my lifetime. It's become nearly worthless. So has most other fiat currencies, government-issued currencies as well. But gold is the ultimate store of value. I mean, it backed the US dollar up until 1971, when Nixon took us off that standard. And the only problem with gold, though, is that you couldn't use it to make normal purchases, and that's what Glint has done. It's given everybody out there a real alternative. We've enabled physical gold as everyday money.
Well, what's so cool about it is that you can pay with actual gold, but this is a real economic thing too, because it will hold its value, you believe, versus anything else out there. US
absolutely.
dollar.
And these problems, which you kind of mentioned before, we've got, there's more than just inflation now. We have the stock market collapsing, cryptocurrency bubble deflating. We have, it seems really that we're not going to be able to avoid a recession. We've got war with Russia. All of these things create huge uncertainty and difficulties for people across the country. And what we're giving people is a glint of hope, if you don't mind the pun. We're giving them a choice. You no longer have to be limited to just using the US dollar or any other currency. You can now use gold. Everybody can.
Yeah, to pay for everyday things.
To save, to be able to buy it, save it, spend it for everyday things.
Okay, and I know you buy plane tickets with it, and it just works like a credit card.
Including the gelato in New York just yesterday,
So what's working in this environment, would you say?
Well, I think the only two things left standing at the moment are the US dollar and gold. and in a basket of currencies, gold is up in other baskets of currencies. But you know, even against gold, we all know, against the US dollar, we know that gold will ultimately win the race. That's what history shows us, is that you know, for instance, in my lifetime, rather than losing its purchasing power, gold's purchasing power has increased by over 500%. And that was before, we did that calculation before all of these big changes over the last 2 years. I mean, the US have printed, out of all US dollars in existence, 20% of them were printed during the pandemic. So there's a lot of built up pressures for more inflation in the system. I
and
think
that even
still to come.
causes me to be surprised that the dollar is doing so well.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think around the world there's a flight to safety. Where do you go? And the dollar is seen as that flight, is that safe haven. But gold is the ultimate safe haven. Yeah. So it's still, people around the world are all flying towards gold. We've seen huge increases in the number of customers we're having. I think we're at about 115,000 users at the moment, and we're onboarding between 5,000 and 10,000 new users a month.
And you're global.
We're global, yeah. People are opening an account in, you know, up to 200 countries around the world, and we're issuing our card in the UK, in the US, and we did issue it in Europe until Brexit, but we're about to become regulated in Europe again and start issuing again in Europe too.
So tell me about the gold protocol. This is something new that you have?
Yeah, we've just launched a gold portal for financial advisors and wealth managers, which allows them for the first time to be able to open Glint accounts for their customers. Now, why would they do that? Well, it allows these wealth managers, discretionary wealth managers, to be able to buy allocated gold for their customers. Up until now, they tend to buy ETFs, which are funds that sometimes are backed by gold, or unallocated gold. And in both those situations, you know, there's liability involved or credit involved. With Glint, you're buying real allocated gold that's in the vault in Switzerland. And so by allowing wealth managers and discretionary fund managers and advisors to be able to open Glint accounts for their clients, to be able to manage those accounts for them, then they can buy this real allocated gold. What else does it do? Well, it allows their clients for the first time to have this unprecedented liquidity for their portfolio as well. So any time their clients, who tend to be asset rich and maybe cash poor, they can say, rather than hassling the advisor for more money and have that sent to them, they can simply just use their Glint account. And effectively they'll be selling their gold when they use the card. That's what happens in real time. They'll be able to spend their bit of their portfolio, and the portfolio manager will go through their normal routine of rebalancing their portfolio whenever they do that. But they don't have the administrative hurdle or headache of dealing with selling and getting funds across to the client. So
this
the gold
more liquid.
It does. It brings Glint now not just to a consumer-facing retail product, but now to the wealth management world as well.
Interesting. Well, these are going to be very interesting times for gold.
Yes.
I think so in the years ahead. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Glint has developed proprietary technology that enables everyone to buy gold. Gold that's stored in Brink's vaults, insured by Lloyd's of London. With Glint's app and debit card, peace of mind is just a few taps away. It's easy to protect your hard-earned savings, and there are no minimums, hidden fees, or financial advisors required. To learn how to safeguard your future, go to glintpay.com or download Glint from your favorite app store.
Want to get linked to a really good investment? Everyone knows you have to be at the right place at the right time. So here's the deal. Link2 is that place. And when you sign up, you'll join an awesome community of investors with access to the world's leading private companies way before they go mainstream. Are you ready to get linked to? Our unicorns are waiting. Link2. Private investing made simple.
Hi everyone, I'm Monica Melpass here to talk about vegan Robs with Harry Erlich and Nick Dazed. Welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for joining us here at the NASDAQ. Let's start with the general question. Why is there space for national brands in crypto?
Hi, it's so nice to be talking with you today. Well, I've been working on vegan Robs for the past 10 years. We're a snack brand sold in supermarkets nationwide. And as much as we love selling snacks and creating products that people could eat, we saw what was happening in the Web3 space and saw an opportunity to do even more. And so Vegan Rob's token was something that we created to allow us to connect more with our snack community, but also to use the wonders of crypto to facilitate charitable donations.
Right.
Our goal with Vegan Rob's token is to feed the world. And every time somebody uses the token to buy our snacks, a portion goes into a charity wallet that we're going to use to donate to children.
Isn't that incredible? So charity clearly was a big part of even how you formatted the company.
Absolutely.
Tell me more about why you feel so strongly about that.
I feel like cryptocurrency is really important to get into charity. The accountability of blockchain that it provides, being able to track everything, just brings a level of accountability and transparency that's really needed. And what we can do as a community, even a small community coming together, the power of us in numbers behind a common goal, really helps to go towards one common goal. So I launched a token, tigerqueen.io, with some cool, very similar tokenomics where we take 2% of every transaction and give it to animal charities around the world.
Wonderful.
So far we've given to Carol Baskin's Big Cat Rescue over $15,000 and over $60,000 total. So it's really cool, just a small community, how it can come together. And I'm really excited with the national exposure of Vegan Rob's and the existing brand that they have to see what they can do.
Right.
Yeah.
What challenges have you faced so far, though, entering the cryptocurrency world?
Being a national brand that makes snacks, a lot of our consumers off the bat didn't realize why we were getting into crypto. They're so used to us coming out with more snacks. So there was a lot of education that went along with why are we developing this coin? And the reason why we wanted to get into cryptocurrency is because it allows us to take what we are doing and make it on a much larger scale. And I think when people understand the transparency and the utility of being on a blockchain that connects everybody, it made sense to our community, and now I think they're all on board and ready.
Terrific. And there had to be some advantages, too, prior to your ICO. What were some of the advantages?
I think some of the advantages are that we already have a reputation nationally.
Great.
We've been working with Feed the Children for years, which is our main charitable partner. And so when I called them and told them that we were doing Vegan Rob's token and that we would be able to donate monthly to kids around the country that go hungry every day, they were so excited. As an upstart, I think it might be hard to make those connections. But being that we're a national snack brand, it opens a lot of doors for us.
And how are you aligning with the blockchain community in general?
Well, I think the number one thing is we need to consistently build things that are powerful and that add utility. At the end of the day, you have a community in this space that wants to see that you really care about how they feel, and they want to see that you really have a mission and a vision for what you're doing. So every day we just kind of take a step back and think, what can we build and what can we work on to add the most value to our community and to get closer and closer to our mission of getting our snacks into the hands of hungry people.
And that really has seemed to resonate with the 20-somethings out there. If you're trying to build brand loyalty from the younger group, they literally will choose a job or unchoose a job because of the values of the company. So you really have hit a nerve there in a good way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
How are you trying to bring those two worlds together in the meantime? Because that's not always easy, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of community events and activations, especially at something like NFT NYC, making sure that we're engaging at different events, giving out the snacks, promoting the brand, and just really leveraging the power of the community. In this type of market, it's a builder's market, so really providing that utility and providing a solid roadmap going forward to your community so that they know what's going to come when everything turns around is really key. So I think it's a great time to launch, right? Launching as your backing goes up.
Yes.
Rising with the market is definitely the way to go. So very excited to see what Harry and team will put together.
And what else does a small cap need for longevity in this space?
Well, as I was saying, I think transparency means a lot, and also creating things means everything. Having a roadmap that you could be honest about, and being honest about what you're going to deliver, and then constantly delivering things that matter. Staying on message with your core values and not being distracted by what happens in the market.
Right.
The prices go up and the prices go down, but the values don't change. And I came into this space to build this token because I had something that really I believe in 100%, you know, and I think that with Vegan Rob's token, we really can feed people and really can make a difference. And so I promise to my community to never waver from that and to be 100% committed to making that a reality.
That's so exciting. And it's not easy always, though, to ignore the outlying circumstances, right? It's hard to keep focus for all of us. How do you guys accomplish that?
By keeping your nose to the grindstone, I think.
Okay.
If you're focused on what you're doing and you have the passion and dedication behind the project, and you're doing things for the right reasons, people will resonate with it regardless of the market conditions. So really excited to see how everything goes.
So what else is exciting to you? Can you give us a long range, 5 years out, or sort of your 5 and 10-year goals at this point?
Absolutely, yeah. So we are looking to bring in more brands. Eventually, we want our donations to encompass all sorts of products and to donate care packages to people that they could use for all aspects of their life. So we're already talking with brands that make beverages and clothing and other things that could transform this project to an even bigger scale. Another thing that's kind of on the back burner that we're really excited about is we're working on a metaverse plot. So we actually want to make the first metaverse supermarket, where you could go in the metaverse with your metaverse avatar, with your wallet connected, click on different foods that you see digitally, and then the actual foods would show up to your house.
Wow.
So, I mean, this technology is still very young, and, we're keeping an eye on everything that's happening, but we love the idea of being in the metaverse in the future.
Of course. So that's exciting for all ages. What would you say to investors who are deep into the metaverse already? Why should they be watching your company?
I'd say, we're doing something a little bit different. I think there's a lot of people vying for market share in this space, but we're not looking to be a platform. We're looking to be an addition, and we're looking to be that niche market where people will come to resonate with what their core goals are. A lot of these community tokens are really just the power of the community's money and the community's knowledge. Education is always really key in these communities, making sure that the investors have all the information to make an informed decision. So offering up education, offering up a solution for people to come together is really what the power of these communities. So,
if you were to leave one final thought with viewers, what would you say to someone who's just hearing about Vegan Robs for the first time?
I would say this is something that will not only help the people who buy the token, but could really help the world. And that if this is your first time hearing about Vegan Rob's token, you should check out our website and check out the things that we've built so far. And we're super excited to be building something that we think could make a difference, especially with how crazy the circumstances we all live under are.
Right, absolutely, well put. Well, thank you so much to Harry Erlich and Nick Dazed. A real pleasure, and all the best. Good luck, continued luck with your product and with your company. Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Glint has developed proprietary technology that enables everyone to buy gold. Gold that's stored in Brink's vaults, insured by Lloyd's of London. With Glint's app and debit card, peace of mind is just a few taps away. It's easy to protect your hard-earned savings, and there are no minimums, hidden fees, or financial advisors required. To learn how to safeguard your future, go to glintpay.com or download Glint from your favorite app store.
Want to get linked to a really good investment? Everyone knows you have to be at the right place at the right time. So here's the deal. Link to is that place. And when you sign up, you'll join an awesome community of investors with access to the world's leading private companies way before they go mainstream. Are you ready to get linked to? Our unicorns are waiting. Link to. Private investing made simple.
SKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SKUR doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download SKUR. Visit SKUR.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Secure private data provides messaging emails, all kinds of systems with privacy in mind. So very different than what we're used to. And with me is CEO Alain Ghiai, who's going to be talking about what happened to me this week.
Yes, unfortunately.
It's so funny, we do all these interviews, and as soon as I got hacked, my email. So what happened was several people I know, got an email, supposedly from me, saying in broken English, please send me Bitcoin. I'm summarizing, but it was kind of like that. And so people were texting me like, is this from you? This doesn't seem like it's from you. What happened? I mean, somebody got into my work email somehow.
Yeah, so let me tell you what happened, because yesterday, 2 days ago, I arrived in New York, and in the morning I get an email from one of the professionals. I'm not going to say who because I don't want to compromise them, but basically one of the professionals we work with in the accounting area also had the same thing. So there was one of their employees that was just send me something. The format was a bit odd, and I can recognize it. So I forwarded immediately to that the president of the company, and I said, is this from that person? Because first, we never hear from them and it looks fishy. He said, no, we never send this. So their domain was also hacked. So let me give a couple tips to our viewers out there.
Okay.
So when you receive an email, if it's on your phone, it'll show, let's say, from Jane King. But what you need to look at is really, if you go on a webmail, it has all the detail, or sometimes you go and you click if it has a domain or not, because anybody in the world can have an email and have the signature from Jane King. But then you look, is it J King at your domain or not? And then there's another level you can look at, which I would like to do later on today, and investigate exactly the thread to see how it was routed. Most companies don't have protection for that. Obviously we do because we're used to it. But unfortunately it happened to you, to the other person, and I actually know another one where it happened as well. And what's happening right now, there's a lot of economic mayhem, right? So everybody is trying to get a dollar from someone. It always happens in high economic activity. Right now interest rates are up, people need money, there's inflation. They'll just try to squeeze anything from anyone. In this case, it was a Bitcoin type thing. In fact, there was a company that got hacked. I read about it today. I'm not going to name them, but basically it was a cybersecurity. It was a blockchain wallet, and the hackers stole $100 million from them. And it's not the first time that it happens.
So the first thing I did was change my password. Was that smart?
Yes, that was smart.
Okay.
And now you have to look at your domain. Like first, has the domain been compromised? And you have to see where you're hosted. Okay, so we'll help you with that off camera down the next few days.
But the first step is change the password.
First step is change the password because at least nobody can get in. But what's happening is somebody was sniffing you. It's a term we use, basically checking your email. As a matter of fact, yesterday I was live on Newsmax talking about the very same thing. And I did explain that because they're talking about how America and the government can protect itself. And basically they spy on you for several months to see what you do, what you write. And this is why when you send an email, it's an open postcard, and you need a highly secure and private system.
Okay, so perfect entry into what Sekur is doing and how you're doing things differently. So that would reduce the chances greatly.
Yes, so what we do, we have a thing called Secure Send. So at Sekur, you can send a regular email to someone, but people need to understand that when you send an email outside of your server, it's like an open postcard. So if you use Secure Send, if I want to send you an email, you're going to get an email from me with a text that says, Alain sent you something, click here on the link to read it. And then when you click, you're automatically in our Swiss server through our Helix technology, which has a direct tunneling to our server. And then you can read my emails. I can have tons of attachment. There's no limit. And to protect you, you can secure reply. That's the whole point, because the round-trip communication is where the hackers come in. Maybe I have great protection, but then you don't, and when you reply, the whole security is gone. So the only way to really eliminate all these email phishing, unfortunately, is you have to use Secure Send back and forth. Now, if we both have Secure, it's like the same thing because we're in Switzerland and the emails never leave the server. But for most people, like they have financial, doctors, lawyers, they have clients. Everybody has those free emails or big tech. They don't have Sekur. That's when you do Secure Send and Secure Reply. That's literally the only way you can eliminate being sniffed by a hacker.
Yeah. And I know we were talking about U.S. banks are starting to investigate their cyber systems and make sure, because I hear like they're almost under constant attack.
Yes.
So what are they doing to ensure that their systems are safe?
That's a great question, but again, it goes back to the email. So U.S. banks, at the request of the Treasury Department, are upgrading and checking their cybersecurity because there's more threats. It's beyond just a hacker. These are international threats now. You know, there's economic warfare between countries, which we'll discuss another time. But basically, they're probably checking any kind of back portal, their server, their infrastructure. So that's all great. But then when you use the typical email services out there, which I won't name because they're trillion-dollar companies, you know, you send an email just like yours was probably hosted on one of those. It's useless. It's useless. You need a really closed-loop system.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's better than not having any security. Also, I would recommend reducing your social media footprint by as much as you can. You know, they talk about, you know, environmental pollution. I call about social media pollution. And reduce your footprint, because that's where all the hackers and the machines learn about you.
That's right. So they can say things in the subject line or whatever that might get you to. Got it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So email is really the entryway.
Email is 94% of all the hacks. And some people tell me, yeah, but how would your email would have protected this company like Capital One that got their database hacked?
How would it?
Well, we need human behavior too. Machines cannot do everything. And basically the idea is it starts with your communications tool. So use a proper communication tool. Don't use WhatsApps to send messages about work, and people do that all the time. You know, use a secure system like, for example, what we offer, let's say, or another company if it's there. But basically emails have to be watched. That's the critical thing, because they spy on you, then they know that, okay, this person uses that database, and people make mistakes, you know, like as the Latin, I don't know if it was a philosopher or Caesar said, to err is human. But we need to think more proactively and use our critical thinking alongside the sophisticated machines.
Okay. Thank you so much, Alain.
With pleasure.
Always great advice.
Thank you so much.
We can do better. Existing security systems are often obsolete and ineffective. Today's challenges require a new approach, a personal approach. RAD Light My Way places personal safety in the hands of everyone.
This area is under live monitoring, activated by RAD Light My Way.
The only way we make a safer world is when we all have a hand in it.
Activated by RAD Light My Way.
Just one of the innovations from AITX. Visit AITX.ai.
Well, PetVivo has a unique treatment for osteoarthritis for pets, and now they've also got a huge deal to announce. With me to talk more about this, National Sales Manager Mark Middleton. So, Mark, MWI, this is an animal health company. Is it a new distribution partner for PetVivo? Can you talk about that a little bit?
It is a new distribution partner that has been around for decades and decades. I've actually competed against them in my former earlier life, and they were very, very good competitors, good people. But it's a good partner for PetVivo, and why it's a good partner is simply because they have multiple shipping locations across the U.S., which will allow for easy access to spring osteocushion technology. Another key component that MWI Animal Health does well is they have one of the strongest digital marketing teams in the U.S. animal health market, as well as other territories. And so that right there alone will help PetVivo get the word out about osteocushion technology called Spring.
Yeah, no, this sounds like a real leap forward for the company. How exactly will they work with PetVivo?
How will they work with PetVivo? Well,
They'll just-
number one, their inside and outside sales teams have an uncanny ability with their leadership of this company to focus on a task. And we need to bring awareness about Spring because we're a small company and we're all doing all kinds of jobs within PetVivo. And now with this partnership, it allows awareness and education about Spring osteocushion technology to be easily accessible to veterinary physicians. And we're excited about it.
Yeah. Well, how, or what do you want to accomplish jointly in your first year of this partnership?
Awareness, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness about osteocushion technology. MWI will also be key to helping PetVivo establish a brand. Brand development, awareness, because when you see and learn about this technology and how it improves medical outcomes for companion animal family members and equine athletes, it's quite amazing. And MWI will help bring that awareness in the animal health market space. And we're very honored and humbled to partner with MWI.
And then how do you think this relationship will evolve over time?
Number one, new products. We're starting with Spring osteocushion technology, but PetVivo has a pipeline of over a dozen products patented around this biomaterial. So there's going to be new products to launch as we evolve our partnership, new territories, and introduction of Spring osteocushion technology and new products into new territories. The teaching resources that MWI has to help educate veterinary physicians as well as pet parents and equine athlete owners. So teaching, their human resources. They have a very good sales team, both inside and out, that have the ability to focus, because I've had to compete against them in my former life, and they're very, very good, and it's very humbling. And then their media access and how they digitally help bring awareness and brand location, not location, but brand recognition. And then, no doubt, the education part. So Jane, this is the right partner for us initially, no doubt.
Well, congratulations on that. I know that you've worked hard and John's worked hard. And so it's great to see a partnership like this, and hopefully it will blossom for you as you envision.
It's very humbling, and it's humbling to be here with you, and you have a blessed day today and a great weekend. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mark.
We can do better. Existing security systems are often obsolete and ineffective. Today's challenges require a new approach, a personal approach. Rad Light My Way places personal safety in the hands of everyone.
This area is under live monitoring, activated by Rad Light My Way.
The only way we make a safer world is when we all have a hand in it.
Activated by Rad Light My Way.
Just one of the innovations from AITX. Visit AITX.ai.
Society Pass is a Southeast Asian e-commerce company that connects companies and merchants, and then they can offer loyalty points and programs as well. And recently, Society Pass acquired a company called Gorilla Networks. And with me is Xanne Leo, the CEO of Gorilla. Welcome, Xanne. Great to see you this morning. So tell me about Gorilla. What is the company all about?
So good morning to you, Jane. Thanks for having me on the show. Gorilla started in 2019 as in Singapore as a travel SIM card service provider. So we started with live network coverage in 160 countries. It was a travel SIM. It was primarily targeted at the PMETs, business travelers in Asia. This was, of course, pre-pandemic. So when we were about to launch, we didn't know that there's going to be a pandemic, and it dramatically affected and impacted our business for the next 2 years, even until now, right? So since then, we have also decided to launch an MVNO in Singapore because we were all in Singapore then. So we also have an MVNO license in Singapore as part of our business.
Yeah, and you're incorporating blockchain and Web3 with your business. So then Society Pass gets that technology as well. So explain how you use blockchain in Gorilla's business.
Right. So first thing is we have tokenized digital consumable, which is like mobile data, which is an invisible signal, into a digital asset, which we call Gorilla Gold token. How it works is like, for example, I'm sure, Jane, you have a lot of unused mobile data every month, right? You don't finish using your data on your subscription plan. And our engine at the back converts every GB of unused data into a token. So it comes out in a token form. It's automatically done. So our users will just get like their unused data converted into that token, which we have tokenized. And this is what we call a switchback feature or a switchback function. So that's how we primarily use it on the front end of the business. We also use it for business processing and payment settlements that is for the back end of the business. And I think that is very interesting.
Is somebody hammering?
Yeah, sorry, I think I have construction like around my area.
Okay. All right, so let's just we ignore it and okay. So tell me about the acquisition. So how did Society Pass, like what does this mean for them? What does this mean for Gorilla in your future?
Yeah, I guess what was very exciting for Society Pass is they have seen how we have we're able to transform a very legacy business, a very traditional old business like telecommunication into something that's really, really exciting with Web3 capabilities. We have created the first mobile number NFTs in the world. That was in October 2021. We have also digitized Web2 telco product services onto the Web3, which means that our eSIM are now able to be interactive, experience, and purchase on the Web3 as an NFT. We also have data plans as an NFT. And that is something that is really quite exciting for SOPA because they are, I would also call that a very traditional business, like a loyalty program business, which is very similar to like your Air Miles programs or loyalty rewards programs or banking credit card programs, right? And in this area, a lot of blockchain companies have been trying to find a breakthrough to first of all use the distributed ledger or the blockchain technology to have a lot more efficiency on the back end for settlements. And I guess what we have done excite SOPA because it offers the capabilities to do cross-border transaction and settlements simultaneously. So I can be American in Malaysia buying something in Thailand using my loyalty points, and that settlement can be done almost instantaneously between the user and us and our partners and our merchants. So using blockchain, right? Which really, really, first of all, is very scalable and it's going to be simple to administer from the back end administrative or accounting perspective. So I guess that was something very interesting for SOPA.
No, that actually is, and it shows the application of blockchain with this type of business, which can really, revolutionize it. So, and I was interested to see that this was SOPA's first Singapore acquisition. So how do you feel about that?
I guess we're both very excited because Dennis is definitely interested in emerging markets, right? So burgeoning markets like Vietnam, Philippines, Indonesia, where they are huge, right? Huge markets, huge population, great young demographics, mobile savvy. So Singapore is really a very, very small place. We are 5 million strong, so I don't have that huge number of users that he's looking for. But we have talents here.
And then just finally, you mentioned you started really basically right before the pandemic. I mean, how did you navigate that? And now that things are reopening, what does that mean for your future?
Oh, it was really hard, Jane, because back in 2020, nobody think that there's going to be a global lockdown. It's like, nah, it's never going to happen. So we had a lot of travel agents partners, right? So we partnered with the agency, we partnered with corporate travels, and nobody thought that it's gonna be massive. Everybody think that it's gonna blow over. We're gonna fly again next month, and lo and behold, it has been 2.5 years. So we took a very bad hit. In fact, a lot of our partners, they went bankrupt and they're no longer around. So now that when things are opening up, we're very excited. We went back to some of our partners to realize that they are no longer around. So we have to start looking for new partners. But it also represents a lot of new opportunities because it kind of level the playing field in a bit. That it kind of trim out the market size, so there are only that few that remains, and it gives us an entry point into the market to gain that market share. So I guess it presents a lot of opportunities, and especially with the help of SOPA, it really just helps Gorilla to springboard into very, very difficult or close-ended markets like Vietnam or Indonesia, where you really need a strong local JV operating partner. So that is what SOPA can present for us.
Wow. Well, fascinating to hear about Gorilla, and congratulations on the acquisition and surviving the pandemic and all of that. So thank you so much, Xanne, for joining me today.
Thank you, Jane.
SKUR, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. SKUR is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using proprietary military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. SKUR doesn't collect or sell your data and doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. You can message and email non-secure users privately without the need for others to download SKUR. Visit sekur.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Welcome everyone to your Secure Privacy and Security segment. I'm Anna Berry. Joining me is Alain Ghiai, the CEO of Secure Private Data. Welcome, Alain.
Hi, Anna. Nice to see you. Hi, everyone.
Okay, so our weekly hack this week is this interesting article about a former Amazon cloud worker convicted of hacking into the company's cloud servers, stealing over 100 million customers' data to mine for cryptocurrency. So, Alain, how can we not be one of the statistics in this if we do choose to buy cryptocurrency, right? That's a chance we take anyway. That's a different show. But how can we keep our data private and secure when we are doing these online transactions?
Well, first of all, I expect a ton more of these criminal activities happening because cryptocurrencies and crypto companies are not necessarily booming right now. They're all crashing, unfortunately, but that was, expected by some, unexpected by others. So this lady needed to scrape as much money as she could. That's why she went to 100 million people. You can scrape quite a few cryptocurrencies from 100 million people. So the problem is that Amazon Web Service, and I am an Amazon shareholder. I do love the company as a whole, but I'd rather not host my email and my wallets and things like that on a big tech platform. But the problem is that 99% of these service companies, these software companies, are hosted on Amazon, Microsoft Cloud, which is called Azure, or Google. And AWS is like, it's AWS and Microsoft that are the biggest, the biggest cloud providers essentially for infrastructure. So you go to a wallet, they build an application for you to buy and sell, stuff using your crypto. That's hosted on AWS. So you don't have a choice, unfortunately. The only thing that you could do, and in fact, many times I was told, why don't you do a crypto wallet, right? That for years I've been told. In fact, I have a domain that we call it digital or bitcoinsafe.ch. It's a domain name that we reserved close to a decade ago, and we still have it. The problem is that when you host cryptocurrencies, now especially, you are attracting hackers. It's basically having honey and saying to the bees, here, come and take all the honey that you can, because you're screaming something that I have value, I'm storing it, and I challenge you to break the wallet. So obviously this person succeeded. Thank God she was caught. And for a very mundane mistake that she made, the biggest criminals, they always make that little tiny mistake that's so basic. That's what they get caught. But in terms of communication, email, messaging, etc., you could use something, I'm going to say like Sekur, because we're not hosted on a big tech platform. And let me tell you how it may help you a little bit. So we all know that hackers spy communications first. Your emails, and now everybody uses this chat application, which you have to give their phone number. They already have that. And from that, they go to your wallet, whatever. But the communication for people to even know that you have a wallet, right? So that's already something. You need to protect your communication, your information. Obviously, don't post about a particular crypto wallet on social media, because somebody will find out, hey, this person has money in that crypto wallet because they keep talking about that company. So that would be a great start. Use our secure application and services, which offers you an email and messenger rolled into one for $10 a month, which is cheap. And in terms of the crypto wallets, we never went into crypto storage because we knew it was going to attract bad people. This person, who was an employee of Amazon, has access. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that the employees have access. In our company, not one person has access to everything. First of all, our DNA, like all our employees in Europe, or we have some in Canada, its privacy runs in the vein, kind of. It's like it's what we believe in. So there's a company culture that you need to cultivate. Then you need to treat your employees well, right? And pay them well. Right. I saw an image of this lady's environment, it looked like, not well, right? So obviously this person needed to pay some bills. Again, we're not excusing that, but that entices. If you pay your employees well, if they're happy, that's a good start. If on top of that, they have the culture of privacy, that's great. Amazon, Google, the other day, all data mine you. Their culture is not privacy. Ours is. So that's a start. And then, unfortunately, if you go to any crypto wallet, you run that risk. So my advice is reduce dramatically the social footprint. So social media footprint. Eliminate all your posts, right? It's like, imagine that you have a Swiss bank account and you don't want to give your bank account number everywhere. Now you have to think like that, because the hackers are out there to get whatever they can out of you. There's an economic downturn. Cryptocurrencies are down 90%. So they're trying to scrape whatever they can. But your information is still valuable. Social security, whatever, anything else. So, we're talking a little bit about this. It's roundabout ways. Short answer, we don't do a crypto wallet. Unfortunately, we wish we could. We decided not to. because we don't want to attract people. We don't want to have a big speaker that says, come and steal our information, and run the risk of such a thing and having to defend that all the time. And then the other thing is, don't use any big tech email and messaging discussing your finances, whether it's crypto or your bank account or anything. Just use private stuff.
Right. And you're about to launch your own VPN. Is that correct?
Yes, actually, it's kind of interesting to say that. So when you use our system and you log in, you basically log into our servers in Switzerland. So we have our Helix technology, which is like a tunneling system. So you're protected there in terms of the security, but the VPN will be really good, because if you use our VPN but you log into your banking, nobody will know where you are, right? So you could even be in a coffee shop, God forbid using Wi-Fi, which I do not recommend, but let's say you do. At the very least, nobody will know that you're making such a mistake using public Wi-Fi to log into financial websites, etc. So that will protect you from that. The VPN, which is Secure VPN, well, surprise, surprise, it's basically going to launch, we believe, sometime in November. And it will only be out of Switzerland, because it's pointless to change locations, because every time you change your IP location between countries, it opens the door, then close the door, so a hacker can come in between. So it'll be multiple IPs within Switzerland. We do have multiple location servers in different parts of Switzerland, so that should protect you. So buy the VPN when it comes out. Use it even with your email or whatever. So when you log into your bank, your crypto wallet, I mean, you're kind of like giving me an idea in my head. I always thought about regular bank because I don't do crypto. But you know what? People who are now going to log into their crypto, their connections are being spied on, their email, their messaging. At the very least with our VPN, which is not a typical open source free, I can get one for free. The same story that's happening for VPN, where people say, I can get a cheap one, I can get a free one, I don't want to pay $10. It's exactly the same thing as the free emails. It's the same concept. You don't want to pay, you'll have zero security and zero privacy. So yes, we're launching a VPN. We're also launching our secure voice and secure video. But you're right, the VPN will be big. Anybody that's into crypto or needs to go to their e-banking, or pay a bill, right? Maybe you go to a website and you have to pay with your credit card, you know, your insurance company, whatever. You always log in from a location, and at least that will be protected.
Well, good. I look forward to that service personally. It's always about you get what you pay for. And what you're doing here, what we're trying to do is just change the mindset, right? Think before you post, think before you plug in, think before you send. So for those out there wondering what happened to her, according to the article, the jury found her guilty of wire fraud, unauthorized access to a protected computer, and damaging a protected computer, according to the article. Plus, she was not found guilty of access device fraud or aggravated identity theft. So it's only the beginning. We know that this is going to continue. That's why we're informing the public of what we can do to not be so vulnerable and not be one of the statistics. So as always, thank you, Alain, for joining me. And thank you to all of our viewers for watching.
Thanks everyone for watching. See you next week.